Welcome to the Effortlessly Abundant Life podcast. I'm Natalia, a certified hypnotherapist and a mindset shifter. Not too long ago, I was a broke, burned out, multi-passionate single woman to now making six figures effortlessly, marrying the love of my life and attracting what I want by using my unique bridge method. I'm here to help you achieve the results you want in any area of your life by owning your true unique self with less doing, less stress, and definitely less effort. Now let's jump to today's episode in 3, 2, 1. Hello, my beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Effortlessly Abundant Life. You can see me. I'm actually holding my matcha, and I have my beautiful abundance candle burning right now. And I have a special surprise for you in the end of this episode. I'm going to do a very fun, intuitive reading for you. And we're just going to use numbers, and you're going to choose a number between 1 to 3. And whatever number you chose intuitively, I'm going to give you a quick reading for you to cultivate more love into your life. And it's going to be very special. So stay tuned till the end of this episode. But today we're going to talk about how to cultivate more self-love, because let's face it, the most important relationship, even before your parents, even before anything you want to call partner or significant other, is first of all with yourself, because that's the base of everything else. As you know, and I always kind of preach it, everything is a reflection of your inner self and how you treat yourself. And I feel that every big manifestation you want to call into your life, if it's better health, if it's amazing, loving relationship, if it's a dream career / business, it all comes to knowing yourself, to loving yourself, to honoring yourself, to respect yourself, and leading the way from your compass. And we're going to talk about today and kind of like what my journey looked like. And definitely, I quote unquote arrived to this utopia, amazing, I in love with myself every single day and everything is butterfly and sunshines. Absolutely not. It's definitely a journey. And that's the whole point of this episode, to kind of emphasize how you're never going to arrive. You're never going to make that. You're never going to, hopefully after this episode, you're never going to look into life black and white, good, bad, or, either you're succeeding or failing. It's a completely different way of shifting your mindset, shifting your view of life and yourself. And I'm going to share what helped me along the way to really kind of daily shift my focus, shift my priorities and what I value. Before we're going to start, I just want to tell you guys that I just got back from my morning kind of self-care. I don't know if I talk about it enough, but I think it's so important to, as we talk about, love, right? It's the most important thing is also to show up for yourself on a schedule, like to have it on the schedule where you actually you have time for yourself. And I really made an intention for myself this year to honor myself more, to really kind of explore things that not really going to give me anything, right? It's not for my business. It's not for my sales jobs. It's not for my, relationship or family or anything like that. Like just for the sake of fun. And I actually went this morning to acupuncture, and I made myself this kind of ritual. What I do once a month, I go to my acupuncture, and I have a very, I don't know, I don't think they have more than 2 I would say like stores in New York, but it's called Within. And I absolutely love it because they really have different kind of therapists and different vibes, and you can really find the person that you feel kind of like you kind of vibing with. And of course, you answer this entire questionnaire, and they really look at your tongue, they look at and ask you different questions to really make sure that they put the needles where they need. Um, and the first one I also did cupping as well. So it was really, really kind of like let go of a lot of tension that I needed. So it really kind of being intentional doing this once a month. And as you know, my Melissa Wood Health, my favorite workout that I'm obsessed with. I do it 3 times a week at least. So I did that this morning. But one thing that I kind of did that I'm really, really passionate and excited to share with you, I started taking handpan lessons. This is so much fun. And I always kind of like deep down wanted to learn how to play this instrument. As you know, or you don't know, I am a professional musician slash singer, right? I went to conservatory for singing. I'm an opera trained professional singer. Um, but I kind of put it in the back burner, right? I didn't really, other than I have a really fun gig coming up that I can't wait to share with you. It's a really cool manifestation that I'm going to share with you as soon as I get the final approval, I guess. But I've been always kind of into the Western musical training, right? Being very rigid. And I always kind of had this kind of desire to learn different instruments. And I really kind of feel called to go and explore handpan. It's a fun, beautiful sound that it's pretty easily created, right? It's not like a violin or other maybe like string instrument that you need to like tune. And there's a lot of, things need to happen before you even create a normal, decent sound. With hempen is just like you tap it and it's percussion and it's kind of like the piano, right? The piano is a percussion instrument. So it's really, really cool to make those fun sounds and I can't wait to explore it. So I'm gonna share with you more on that journey. But I just wanted to kind of give you a quick life update and tell you that I'm working on something very, very special that I can't wait to share with you. More on the Actually, I'm going to release a very fun announcement on February 28th. So make sure you're on my newsletter because you guys are going to be the first one to know. And also, you're going to get a really fun gift if you're choosing to join our kind of closed soul cycle, I call it. You're going to get a free hypnosis and what I do on a daily basis every single morning to cultivate more effortless abundance into my life. So it comes with a journal, it comes with a really powerful hypnosis movement. It's a really kind of fun, interactive way to kind of align yourself so you can feel you're on. So all that in the description bar below / description in the show notes. And with that, guys, let's start with today's episode. So self-love. Ooh, if I'll take you back to my childhood, because it's all starts there, as you know. If you don't know, I'm Belarusian. So I'm a single child. So my parents and I moved to Israel when I was 3 years old. My parents really kind of dealt with a lot of depression, a lot of anxiety, a lot of unhealed version of themselves. And they were kids when they had me. They were 21, and moving to a new country, dealing with trying to provide for the family, trying to raise a girl in a completely different culture and atmosphere has been very tough. And I didn't really feel that the priority was love, where the priority was to survive. And since I was a little girl, I, don't remember many moments of just pure love, to be honest. I remember there was a lot of chaos. I remember there was a lot of anger. I remember there was a lot of frustration. Um, and I learned very early on that I need to take responsibility for the well being of this family. So I would clean the house. I would, I was always doing laundry. I was cooking. I was kind of taking the role of my mom because my mom was working two jobs. My dad was working two jobs. My grandma was working as well. She was living with us. So, I remember like it was yesterday. Came home. I made my pizza. I had my frozen pizza and I would put it in the microwave. And I would just kind of like lived in my little world, by myself. But I really remember that my acceptance and love was always dependent on what I did, either chores, that would make them very happy. And I would get like a significant response from them. And also if I would bring good grades, if I would impress them in some way or shape or form, right? Um, and that's kind of like what I put my focus, and that's where I subconsciously made the decision that as long as I am performing well, doesn't matter in what way, right? It could be home, it could be in school, it could be singing. Since I was a little girl, I was singing all the time. So, or even sports, I was very into sports as well when I was younger. So, any of those things, as long as I'm outperforming, I'm doing really well, then I will receive some kind of recognition, not even love, like just something. Right? I laugh about it now because I'm very, I did a lot of healing and I'm no longer kind of attached emotionally to that, but just know that it took a lot of healing for me to see in that way. And no shape or form I'm laughing about it in a joke way. I'm just seeing it in a much more detached perspective and healed perspective. So, kind of as I mentioned, since I was a little girl, everything was conditional. Everything was conditional. And I grew up as a teenager also kind of looking into relationships around me, thinking that I need to look a certain way to be loved, right? I had very bad acne. I took 2 rounds of Accutane, which is a very powerful hormonal medicine that is just completely dries your whole entire skin and body, and it's terrible for your liver. I would never do it again, but I didn't have any answers. So I did that, and I just remember trying so hard to be anything but myself. So hard to try to fit in with society. I was the only Russian girl in my school, so it's always been like I was the outsider. I was also growing up in a very wealthy neighborhood, but I was no even close to being wealthy. But I really, really tried to wear the best clothes. I was trying, my grandma, she was aware and she was always so sweet to provide for me. And she always gave me like the nicest clothes, the nicest jeans, whatever's like trendy. So I would not feel as if I am the weirdo, right? And it's just always been this chase of approval. It's always been this chase of like me. And even when they liked me, it was for somebody that I wasn't even myself, right? This perfect plastic version of myself. And I truly feel only after my significant relationship where I was cheated on, and I think I kind of mentioned to you guys multiple times in here, but after that relationship, when we were together 5 years, and I finally decided that enough is enough. And I'm calling off, obviously, the engagement. I'm moving out with my dog, and I'm going to just live with my friend and just be in the couch because she has no room for me. And would pay for her. I would pay for sleeping on the couch because I didn't want to feel like you know, I didn't want to feel that I'm a burden, I guess. And and after that, the roommate left and I kind of took place. But long story short, only then I really started my self-healing journey and realizing how much everything, all my focus was outside, meaning everything, all the validation was external and me seeking this external validation. And it got to a point where I've been so painful and so empty at the same time that I realized I can't go on like this. And I had to start my self healing journey. And with that came a lot of things, either from my childhood, my relationship with my parents, relationship with obviously with the people that I chose to be my life partners and wanted them, that there were my significant relationships. And obviously the relationship with myself and also with my voice. As an opera singer, as I kind of mentioned, as a professional opera singer, you always being judged on how you sound, on how you look, on how you stand, on how you are. You making the audition or you're not? Are you looking good or you're not? Everything was based on external grades, external validation, compliments. Everything was external in versus what Natalia wants, what I want. What do I really feel like? What feels exciting to me? What feels true to me? None of that even existed. And that is a very painful place to be. And when you realize that even when you give 110%, like I did with that relationship that I shared with you, and that it wasn't even not enough, I broke down because I was like, there's nothing else I can give. I gave my everything, literally everything. I thought I was the perfect partner. Of course, deep down, I know I was miserable, but everything I did was to make sure the other person was happy. And that was not even enough. That broke me. And that's when I realized I cannot do this anymore because it's not working anymore. And it's not making me feel anything anymore. There's so long that you can just continue living this lie. But at some point, you kind of like really look at yourself and say, what the hell am I? What I'm doing? And this is where I really woke up. And it wasn't an easy road, as I kind of mentioned. And of course, there was a lot of different coaching and healing and seminars and books and hypnosis and meditations and books and everything you can imagine and podcasts that kind of I delved into. But the most kind of significant mindset shift that I want to propose to you today and really help you to kind of keep asking yourself this question, because when you ask yourself good questions, you're going to get good answers. It's just the way our subconscious mind works, right? When we ask a question, its job, it's to give you an answer. And when you're asking really good questions, you're going to get really good answers because it's always going to find an answer no matter what. So my question was, what's leading me right now? What's my compass? Is that external validation or is it my internal pleasure? And it's very, very obvious because when I really want to do something, it feels good. When I ask myself, what really kind of leads me right now? Is it my pleasure? Is it my kind of what I feel alive when I think about it? It turns me on? Does it make me feel excited as a manifesting generator? Is it like my thing? Or is it feel an obligation? Or does it feel like, oh, everybody's doing it, so I gotta do it? Or does it feel like I'm just so afraid and I have to do it because I'm afraid that if I'm not gonna do it, what's gonna happen? And when you ask yourself this question, The more you choose to lead your life through that pleasure, to know that it's safe for you to lead through your pleasure in every area of your life, but especially your relationship with yourself and allowing yourself to lead yourself from to pleasure and not forcing yourself to do things you don't want and then judging yourself when you're not doing it well enough. And it's just a spiral kind of judgmental cycle that is just that doesn't lead to nowhere and nothing. This is where it's super crucial. And this is how you truly gain self-love. Because if you really love yourself, you will allow yourself to be happy. You will allow yourself to move through life to what feels good to you. It's not going to become a reward. It's not going to become like, oh, I'm going to follow my pleasure only after I served everybody else. Or I going to give myself this treat after I got a really good grade, or I got some kind of external validation. That is conditional love to yourself. But when you lead your life with pleasure, asking yourself, what do you want, Natalia? What do you want? I'm asking you every single day, every single moment, and asking yourself, what would make me feel pleasure right now? Sometimes it could be just rest. Sometimes it could be just completely disconnect. Sometimes it's going to be just reading a book. It doesn't have to be big, monumental things. And that is the whole point. That's why I love asking questions, because every day we face decisions. But when you lead your decisions and you lead your day through this question of, wait, does it make me feel more pleasure, or doesn't? It's just kind of like, what's directing me here? It's like the external validation again. No, I don't need it. The only validation you need in the end of the day is your own. Because kind of what I share with you, you can give your all and still it's not going to be enough. Because your job is not make people happy. It's not your job to fill people's holes and make them feel whole again. That's not your job. Your job is to fill your own cup first, to fill your own pleasure cup. And when you're feeling pleasure, just naturally you vibrate this magnetic energy that people just feel drawn to, that people feel healed by, because just it's the way it is. You affect people just by being in your alignment. You don't have to do much. And you inspire people to follow what feels good by doing that. But when you are constantly obsessing about what people think about you, how people perceive you, how well did you do or not do, and kind of like jumping every second when somebody said something about you that is slightly less than what you think you should be, right? And feel like, oh my God, I'm not loved. That is a sign for you, my love, that it's time to choose and redirect your compass, because right now it's in the wrong setting. And the wrong setting is, I am validating others people opinion on me over my own opinion about myself. And it comes deeper into our ancestral wounds where we were part of a tribe. We could not be the other weirdo person that is kind of like living their best life and they can do whatever they want. We had to fit in. And if also in society right now, obviously, look at us. We all want to be like one another. We don't want to be the awkward, weirdo person that is doing something completely different than the rest. But this is your ego. That is your survival mode. That is what keeps you stuck and limited. And that is the biggest lie that we ever been taught, that we have to be like everybody else in order to be loved and seen and accepted. That is gone. Those days are gone. We don't need it anymore for survival. As you can see right now, I am in my studio recording this podcast. I'm not in a tribe. I'm doing what I want to do. You can do whatever you want to do, and you still have food on your table. You have water. You have, thank God, a roof above your head, and you have a warm bed to go to this night. So we're no longer in this survival mode here, but we are so conditioned. We don't even took a second to step back and think, wait, how I'm living my life. Is it from outside in, or I'm actually asking myself what makes me feel better? What makes me feel alive? And as I said, it doesn't have to be the big things. It's just asking you this question of what gives me pleasure? What would I want to do right now? And every single day, do one thing and follow this intuition and follow this nudge and listening to your inner child that just want to do something completely not normal, quote unquote. And it's going to, this voice, this intuition, this pleasure is going to become bigger, and it's going to shine so much light through everything in your life. You're going to be so magnetic to abundance, and not just money, because abundance in my kind of lexicon, it's not just the money, it's the experience of abundance, right? It's the opportunities, it's the amazing things you want out of life, because I know you want more. If you're listening to this podcast, you want more of life, but you just don't want to work harder for it. You don't want to sacrifice more to get what it is that you want. And it's all the concept that we're talking about. It's the vibration, it's the being that makes you so magnetic to all the things you ever wanted and better. So when you're following your pleasure, you not only vibrating this high frequency of happiness, of joy. So you become this magnet to opportunities, to amazing people that want to be around you. You also signaling the universe that I matter. I can hold more. Because you are the only one who can decide how much you can hold, how much pleasure you can hold. And it takes time to kind of expand that vessel of pleasure, expand that vessel of allowing more goodness to come into your life. It doesn't come overnight. It's a practice, it's a muscle. So just by asking this question, as I said, what gonna make me more happy right now? What's gonna lead me to more pleasure right now? And knowing that this is the most smartest, most strategic, best question and best thing you can actually allow yourself to kind of follow, that knowing that this is the best, fastest way to attract anything you want, and not what the logical mind is going to tell you, which is, no, you cannot take a nap right now, even if that's what your pleasure is saying to you right now, because you have things to do. You have a whole list of things to do. You have people to call. Oh, you have this or you have that. And all these lies we tell ourselves. And I remember so vividly when I really made a conscious and was really into this kind of, now it's like my automatic kind of question that is just in the back of my mind. I don't even think about it consciously. But when I wasn't, and I was kind of in my, going from meeting to meeting, and I had like this sales goals that I wanted to hit and all these thoughts, but deep down, I was so tired and I really wanted to take a nap. That was my pleasure in this specific moment. And I would say to myself, like, okay, if this is what I need and this is what I want, I'll do it. Although my ego, right? My mind start to freak out. It's like, how you can do that? You cannot do it. You're not being productive. You're going to get called on. You're going to be looked at as if you're lazy. But the first time I did it, nothing happened. The second time I did it, I woke up, I had three projects, just boom, approved. People reaching back to me, people that I was trying to reach out, prospect clients, just kind of coming back to me, kind of in the pipeline by themselves, kind of dead projects that just came out of nowhere, coming back to life. Like things that I didn't do nothing, right? I didn't initiate the call, I didn't email, I didn't go physically to the place. I was just napping because I allowed and I signaled the universe that I matter, that it's okay to take care of me. It's okay to let me and allow the universe to support me right now. And it's not all on me, because that's not self-love. That's self-sabotage, and that's actually manipulation. Because if I feel the need that I need to manipulate and control every situation in every way, that's not love. That's manipulation. So when I gave myself what I needed that time, and when I really start to see evidence that it's safe for me, and not only it's safe for me, hey, I'm getting actually results here. I was like, it just didn't make sense to even my conscious mind anymore to work so hard. And don't get me wrong, I was not just like sitting all day long doing nothing, but it was really asking me the question of what feels good right to me right now. What is going to make me feel more pleasure? And also, I'm going to tell you in sex too, like in your intimacy, it's so important to understand that your pleasure is more, it's really kind of this beautiful dance between your pleasure and your partner's pleasure, and really put your pleasure first in the beginning, and really understand that it's almost like you in charge of your pleasure, he's in charge of his pleasure, and you guys enjoying each other's pleasure because you're pleasuring each other, and it's amplified and it's just beautiful dance. And it's not like I'm trying to impress you and you trying to impress me. And it just feels disconnected and just there's nothing here, right? Energetically. So everything comes from the seed of feeling good, of pleasure, of allowing and loving yourself. So ask yourself this question every single day. Please let me know how that resonated with you, what it actually sparked in your life. Come visit me on my Instagram at Effortlessly Abundant Life. DM me. I would love to chat with you. I love kind of like our interactions and our little conversations behind the scenes. Um, and if you feel called to go deeper into your self-love journey and really become I call it, become the flower that attracts all the bees, all the manifestations you want into your life. If it's amazing career, amazing money gain, if it's opportunities, and then as an artist or as an entrepreneur, or just cultivating love in a completely different way that feels so, so damn good, please apply to my 101. It's my 3-month program in 12-week, where we go really deep into human design, into your way of cultivating abundance, into healing every piece of you that doesn't allow money and abundance and love to flow through you effortlessly. And it's life changing. That's all I can say. So to make sure that's a good fit for you, you're going to actually fill a form. And within 48 hours, we're going to get back to you to make sure that it's a good fit. And we're going to come on a call together to answer your questions. And from there, the rest is going to be history. So you guys came to the end of our podcast. And as I promised you, we're going to do a really fun reading for you. So I want you to think about a number between 1 to 3. So either 1, 2, or 3. No right or wrong answer. And close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and just allow whatever number. It could be somebody saying to you the numbers, could be you're seeing the number, it could be you're feeling the number. Um, Whatever that comes to you first, just let that first intuition be the right answer. So if you chose number one, your card is guidance is available to me now. I know that angels, ancestors, and spirit guides are always at hand. I do not walk alone. Oh, it's so good. I'm just going to give my 2 cents here that this is such an important part in self-love because when we kind of what I mentioned, when you're not manipulating and try to over control every situation and every person in your life to make sure they love you, and you allowing to co-create with the universe, you know that you are worthy to be supported. You're worthy to let things to come to you and not everything to be dependent on you. That is the ultimate self-love. So know, my love, that chose number one, that you're so supported and loved right now. And you can let go of the grip a little bit. You don't need to hold so tight. You can allow the universe to hold you, to caress you, to lead you to where you want to be. So that is your card number one. For number two, my productivity stems from inspiration. When I focus on what brings me joy, my tasks become effortless actions. This is for my doers. This is for my overachievers. This is my sisters, because this is definitely something that resonates with me. And instead of looking at how much we achieved by the end of the day, we want to look how much we felt inspired by the end of the day. And kind of, as I said, instead of looking the external kind of numbers, grades, validation, and all the things we think that is going to make us feel better, in the end of the day is how much we feel inspired, how much we followed our nudges, our intuition, and focus on what brings us joy, because that's ultimately what's the most important thing anyway. We're doing it to do what? To feel something and to feel good. And there's no better feeling than feeling joy, excitement, and love. So when you're ready following that on a daily basis, you're really winning. And when you're letting that to be the factor of your success and not the money or the how much you achieved by the end of the day, that is such a win. And the by factor of that actually is going to become you're going to make more money than you think, but it's going to feel so damn good. Ah, I love this. Number three, all that I need is coming to me in ways that I couldn't never have imagined. This is your confirmation, my number threes. So, as kind of like my number ones, let go of the grip because your success is inevitable. It's going to happen. There's no question if it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Can you let go of the testing energy, of the trying to manipulate energy and control energy, and really allow things to come to you better than you could ever imagine, meaning better than you really kind of planned, because the universe, source knows exactly what you want. And it's going to deliver you even better than you can ever imagine. Because sometimes we think we know what we want, but then when we get it, it's like, I don't know. It's more like what I think I should want and what other people have. So I think I should have it too. But God knows what you want. Trust me. It's it's this infinite intelligence that really, really knows what you want. And if you let it to move through you, if you let it to support you and you let it to give you what it is that you truly seek, it's just it's just it's just the best feeling in the world. So feel the love for yourself the way God feels for you, because it truly loves you so deeply. And with that, that is my message for my one, two, and threes. And for you, my loves, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please make sure to rate it. That would mean the world for me. So more souls can listen to this and get exposed to this podcast. And of course, gives me so, so, so much kind of like this energy to create more for you. And if you want to hear a certain subject, or you have a certain thing you want to kind of, for me to kind of explore and go deeper on, feel free to DM me on my Instagram at Effortlessly Abundant Life. And as I mentioned, all the information to apply to my one-on-one coaching is in the show notes. And with that, guys, I love you so, so, so much. So much. I really do. And I thank you for sharing this time together. And I'll see you in our next episode. Bye.